Hey. Well, man, I've been reflecting quite a bit. A lot of people are probably wondering why, everybody graduates college, everybody has these opportunities and things like that. But those who don't know me, I started back in '01, and my struggle of different things that I went through, and this always being the goal that I wish I could accomplish for just so many different reasons to finish school. And I couldn't figure it out. People try to help me, talk to me, encourage me, things like that, and nothing really clicked. I wasn't really getting it. And when I finally had the finances, I didn't have the self-confidence or anything within myself to just say, Bonnie, you can do it. I would say that, but somehow deep down inside, I would counter that. And so it just has been a journey, a hard, long journey. And to finally accomplish it and finally get it and finally understand it, my goal for these videos is to encourage people not to give up in whatever it is. It's not just school, but whatever it is that you're desiring or that you're wanting, or whatever it is that's on your heart that without a shadow of a doubt that that's what you want to do one day, right? But I want to be real during the process, and so that's a little bit what I want to talk about today is the journey. During the journey, because I know that God had called me to go back to school, to raise my game, raise the bar, and get better and add more resources and tools and applications, not only for myself, but also to teach and help other people in other areas. But one of the things I guess I thought, you don't realize you think something until you go through it, and then you're challenged. And so because I thought I'm going back to school, I had a few insecurities, like what if I'm not smart enough, what if I can't do it, a few things, but not enough to push me to not do it, because I knew that was my weakness. And that's probably the most important thing, is when you go through through your journey in life with God, particularly when you're taking on something that God has called you to do, is to know your weaknesses. And we all have them. I heard a teaching about that it's not about strengthening your weaknesses, but strengthening your strength. But I want to add to that particular saying, and it's also knowing your weaknesses so that you can counter them. And what I mean by that is that because I knew that I have a tendency to talk myself into things and then talking myself right back out of things. I mean, let's be real. I can say, no, Bonnie, you can do it. Yeah. Nope, I can't do it. Never mind. Bye. Thank you. Have a nice day. And so I can talk myself out of it really easy. I'm a good lawyer for both sides. Because I know my weakness, and because I have that ability to talk myself out of things, I put into place a thing of anytime I've come to a moment of where things get hard or tough, that's usually when my insecurities and my weaknesses tend to come out. I tend to do self-doubt. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough, or whatever. So when I feel stressed, I have that moment, I begin to slow down. And I'm like, okay, wait, I'm not going down that route. I know where I'm at. I know where I can go. And I don't want to go there because that's old ways, old walk, old talking. And I have to remind myself that God has called me to this place, that I have everything I need. And even in my weakest moments, in my weakest areas and abilities, God is at his strength. He'll show me, he'll give me the resources, he'll guide me, he'll protect me. Whatever it is that I'm needing, that I need in that moment, he'll help me out of that area. And sometimes it has to be a do or die, because I can get very overwhelmed and want to go back to the old ways because it's what I know. I know it sounds crazy. Why would we want to go back to the very thing that God took us out of? It's because when you know it, that's what you know, that's what you want to go back to. And that happens to a lot of people, why they backslide, why they go back to their old ways. But that's that very moment that you have to kind of have a do or die mentality of like, no, I'm not going back no matter what I feel. And a lot of people rely on their feelings. They feel this certain way, so therefore the truth isn't real. No, one thing amazing is that God's truth is always God's truth. Nothing can ever change that. Your feelings may not match up to the truth, but it doesn't matter. God doesn't need your feelings to match up to what he has to say. God's truth is God's truth, end of day. It does not take away from who you are or what you're feeling, because let's just be real, because we're all human, we're gonna feel certain things. But it's allowing the word to guide you into the direction that he has called you, not allowing feelings to guide you into whatever it feels like that day. So we have to rely on God's word. And with that saying, when you go through a journey, know what your weaknesses are. Know that if you tend to not be on time for things, then how are you going to counter that? You're going to leave extra early. You're going to put multiple timers on your phone. If you tend to forget things, certain assignments, whatever it is may be, as soon as someone assigns you something, put it right in your phone, or text it to yourself, or call yourself. I know some people do that. And counter your weakness. Sometimes we can't strengthen those areas. Let's just be real. It's life. Things happen, so much going on, and we just don't have that ability to maybe take a class to better ourselves, or maybe that's just who we are, or whatever it is. But we can counter it, which therefore it becomes a strength in our lives. And so because I knew my weaknesses, that was the ability to go against the very thing that I tend to do, is talk myself out of things. And so that's just one of the things I wanted to share with you guys, that I'm very grateful that even when those moments that I wasn't sure how I was going to do it, how I was going to overcome it, how I was going to get better at it, I had to rely on God. I know in school they taught this format, and a lot of you guys might know it, but I didn't know it, was the APA format. And when I first saw it, I thought, what the heck is this? What is this? Did they make it up? Is this like something born yesterday? Like literally? And so I was kind of freaking out. And I really wanted to avoid the assignment. I didn't want to do it. I was going to say, you know what? This school's not for me. I'm not going to work it out. And I guess I had this misunderstanding, or this misconception, whatever you want to call it, that because God has called me to this very thing, it should be easy for me to walk in and walk out of it, right? I'm going to get what I need to and get out and be done, and then go to the next place that God has for me. But it doesn't really work that way. And I guess for some reason I thought that life would just get easier because I'm doing what God has called me to do. And I knew this before, but I guess I was still thinking that. I guess a little bit of my foundation, and that's one thing really amazing. When God puts us in these trials and these different things that he calls us to, it really solidifies our foundation as to what do you really believe, and really kind of tests the waters, tests your foundation really, as to, do you believe straight up all God, nothing but God, or is there some self in there? And I had some self-beliefs in there that I thought life would be easy when I did the very thing that God has called me to do. Now, one of the things to look at trials, it's all about perception and perspective, I guess, is that when you look at trials, it's your ability to get stronger in an area. So when I was learning this new APA format and all the different types of citations and what to put, what not to put, how to quote, how not to quote, just different things like that, you know, sometimes you ask yourself, as many students do, why do I need this? What's the importance of this? Well, God had to remind me that I know that I'm called to do other things, and in Seeing Things 2020, I will be writing things, I will be writing books, and I'm going to write different materials and writing programs and citing them through PowerPoint or through, you know, handouts or whatever I create, whatever God has called me to do in those areas and those things. Now I have the ability to cite it. Now I have the ability to do the thing that makes it proper to where if I wanted to go publish it, I can, because I have the proper citation for every handout, for everything that I've created, which gives me the ability to be a step ahead instead of trying to go find all those resources that I used. And so it's really amazing how knowing and learning the very thing that I really was like, no thank you, I don't need this, and really asking God, okay, help me. And he applied all the resources and the sources that I need and everything that I needed to help me to be, to gain wisdom, to be stronger, and to get better. So you guys, don't give up, and know that God has a plan, is a good one, even when it's hard, and don't miss out on the very things that God has for you.